How often do you reassess who is around you? The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. I'm curious, how many people reevaluate who they surround themselves with? I got a new camera over the weekend and I was reviewing the features. And there's this feature where you calibrate the camera and the structures around it. You can change the view, you can change the direction in which it's focused upon. And I was like, well, this is a really cool feature. If only we had a feature like this in our own life where it was easy to redirect where we place our focus. As somebody who has been focused on growth and living with intention, this situation arises occasionally where there are people around me who are very comfortable with maintaining their current status. There is very little focus and attention placed on how can I improve the day? How can I make the day better? What can I learn? Where can I go? And my life hasn't made significant changes in each day, but over a period of time, there is a natural falling away of people. And there's a realization that when I recalibrate and look at what we have in common, where we want to go, what are our goals, there is a noticing that there are a lot of people that don't seem to be aligned with the current version of me, and they don't seem to be aligned with a future version of me. And that is fine, but at a certain point, I have to go back to an old version of me, an old version of how I live and what is important for me to be able to interact with them. And when I look at that, it becomes obvious that it is difficult for me to continue to grow at the rate in which I want to grow if I'm being tethered to a person that I no longer am. I don't act in those same ways, I don't respond in those same ways, and I don't have those same goals. But I know it's also difficult to let people fall away, let circumstances fall away. There are a lot of people walking through life who are very comfortable wherever they're at in their life. They love their station, they love their home base, they have no desire to change it or improve it or shift it. That's not how I think. That's not how I am motivated in my life. And over time, it becomes obvious to me we cannot continue to walk very far into the future. I was almost envious of the camera that had this recalibration feature where I could just push a button and it's going to say, nope, this aligns, this doesn't align, and just let everything fall away. Because sometimes when relationships change and shift, we often have to have those difficult conversations, those courageous conversations. And if they're not really close, we can just let them organically fall away. Stop responding, stop interacting when it no longer feels like it's a fit. It also depends on the level of friendship or the level of the relationship. If it's a very close, personal, intimate relationship, maybe there is value in discussing what the future looks like, where I'm at, what I want, and is there a path forward? Is there a way that we can both work to create a future that supports both of us and not just one of us? the more that we have those conversations, the more it becomes easier to fully express what it is that each of us needs. And can we both be in this relationship and feel supported? I have certain goals in my life. And even though I don't walk around the world with those displayed for everyone to see, I know what they are. And when I look at people, I can pretty accurately assess whether this person is going to be able to even understand that life that I have envisioned for myself. And it's almost like saying, you can't go there with me. I know you have no interest of going there with me, so I have to leave you here. And while that sounds harsh and that sounds cold, it just becomes a matter of fact that if I want to go here with my life, I can't keep coming back to a version of myself from 30 years ago. That is impeding my progress. And I didn't come here to not live out my dreams. I didn't come here to remain the same version of myself that I've always been. It's always interesting too when you reconnect with people that you've known from your past, and we still see them in this 17-year-old version of ourselves. When we were in high school, the environment was completely different. We were completely different people, and we still hold them that they are the same as they were. And yet, when we look at ourselves, we know that we have changed. I've always found it difficult to navigate between two different worlds, between the version of who I was and the version of who I want to be. And as someone who has been working on that future version process for some time, I don't walk around saying, this is my dream, this is where I'm going, because that's, in my opinion, a waste of my time and energy. Instead of just saying, this is what I'm going to do, I am working on those steps behind the scenes. But it becomes difficult to slip back into a person that I no longer am. And I guess this is all just to say that these are some of the hard conversations we have to have if you are on a path of self-improvement. There will be times where we have to let people fall away. We have to let each other free from any obligation. I can't interact with you because we're having the same conversations that we've had every single day. Nothing has changed. You still aren't happy. You have identified the problems in your life. You don't want to make the changes that are needed. And it becomes increasingly difficult for me to remain in that space and listen to this cycle just continue. That is not how I respond in my life. When I have identified a problem, when I have identified a situation that is keeping me at a specific place that I don't want to be in, that I don't feel good being in, I address it. And I understand that that is not how everybody lives their life. Because addressing something that isn't in my highest good often requires me to have difficult conversations, often requires me to set boundaries and establish a new set of rules that is accommodating for all invested parties. And I really can't say it enough. We have such a limited amount of time here. We have such a limited amount of what are we here to do and how can we do it? And what do you want to do? And having these difficult conversations of we really aren't aligned. We really aren't going to the same place. We really don't have very much in common anymore. And that's why people do ghost. That's why people do just stop responding. Those are difficult conversations when one person is aware and one person isn't. I was just looking at this camera and looking at the features going, well, this would be a handy setting to have in real life. Let's just recalibrate everything around me and just let it fall away if it no longer is aligned with who I am. And it all comes back to what is important to you. Is your growth the most important thing to you? Is it your sense of community? What is it? And have you identified that? And I think people just naturally see us in versions of us that suits them. They see us in a version that they either like or they don't like, because that can be just as negative as it is positive. And there are absolutely times where having a large group of friends really can cause a distraction from where it is that you want to go. What is most important to you? Who do you surround yourself with? How often do you recalibrate your vision of yourself and your future? Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at more Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.